on? Well, hi, hello, good afternoon. The sun is setting and it is wonderful outside. I have all these chores I need to get done and I am just putting it all off. Got me a new Stanley. This is the Yarrow. I had to have it, so I bought it. Helps me drink my water. Anyway, welcome back to Brandon Farm. Just a quick little update. I changed my IG handle, my Instagram handle, to Grow Brandon Farm to match our YouTube channel, which is Grow Brandon Farm. Just to kind of keep everything simplified and together. That way it's not confusing when I'm like, hey, I'm on YouTube, on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, but all these different handles. So everything is now Grow Brandon Farm across the board. Yay! So I have all these chicken chores I need to get done. I need to refill the chicken's water. I need to add the ASEA because I have one chicken. One of my Rhode Island Reds. I now have 3 Rhode Island Reds because, well, there's a story behind that. So I really wanted the Rhode Island Red. Got one. Love her, Chachi. She's the one that actually got attacked by the hawk, which we now know was one of those big, like, phone's taking pictures. So it was actually one of those like big like buzzard birds, the vulture birds. I don't know what they call them. I don't know what the technical term for them is, but anyway, so nursed her back to health. She's doing great, except for now she's got an issue with one of her feet, her claws, her feet. What do you call those things? Chicken feet. I don't know. Anyway, so one of her, she's got bumblefoot, is what I'm thinking it is. It's pretty swollen. And so good luck on catching her because those Rhode Islands are super fast. But I've been adding the ASEA to the water, and if I can get close to her, I've been spraying her with the hen healer. And just trying to give her all the vitamins I can get her. Darby's freaking out. So, Chachi. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time to make a YouTube video, but then I got a second Rhode Island because when I buy chickens, I try not to buy them individually. I buy them in pairs. That way they have like a little buddy, a little support buddy. And so when I had gotten one of my previous chickens, I added the Rhode Island because I know that they're great egg layers and that I would benefit from that. But my mom had a Rhode Island that was not a very nice chicken. So she wanted me to take her, and so I took her. So now we have 22 chickens in total. And I have 3 that are Rhode Island Reds. So yeah, that's how I ended up with 3 Rhode Island Reds. And 22 chickens. Okay, so no idea where I was going with that. So I need to do all the chicken chores. I need to see if I can get her fixed up with her foot. I need to fill up the chicken's water. I need to add the ASEA. I need to fill up the chicken's feed. Might need to add some bedding and clean out the coop. I actually don't clean out the coop every single day. I will scoop up the big like clumps of chicken poop and I'll pull that out and put it in my compost pile. But I don't actually pull everything out and add new bedding all the time. I only do that every once in a while. I do want to go over all of like my little chicken routine and tips and tricks that I have. I've only had chickens for 2 years now, but I've learned a lot along the way. So I feel like for those of y'all that are beginning or want to or are interested in getting chickens, maybe I can help in some small way. I don't know everything. There's a lot of resources out there. Matter of fact, I follow Coffee with Chicken Ladies. They have a lot of knowledge. They've actually helped me with Chachi whenever she got attacked by the hawk. They have a podcast that's out. They do a breed spotlight. I mean, the whole 9 yards. So if you're interested in chickens, that's who I would want to send you to, is the Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. Lots of good information there. But I can also help you with the knowledge and experience that I have. So that's kind of what I want to share with you today. Maybe I can get the whole video done before the sun goes down. I don't know, because I kind of want to go Instagram Live. Maybe I'll get Brad on here too. You wanna be in my video? Yeah, I'm talking like chicken, like tips and tricks.
Oh yeah?
Stuff that I've learned. No, Brad, this is a family channel. Alright. Put my husband and my kiddo on chore duty. Hayes wouldn't turn on the water for me. Brad's gonna grab something so I can show you guys. Okay, so I have 22 chickens in all. 22, golly. But, okay, let's see if I can do math here. Probably not. Let's see. I have 22 chickens. 3 of them are Rhode Island Reds. And the rest are all different breeds. No duplicates, other than the 3 Rhode Island Reds. So that means I have 20 different breeds. Oh my gosh, I suck at math. Fun fact, in high school and in college, Bradley, my husband, did all my math for me. So I never actually had to learn math because I had him. He was my human calculator. So I have a lot of different chicken breeds. And some have asked, what is my favorite chicken breed? And truthfully, I don't have a favorite. Because I feel like they all have different personalities. And as they get older, that personality comes out more. It's been like a whole thing of like learning your chickens. I mean, they're all different. They all have little quirky personalities. I don't know, I love them. So how we got started with chickens, I'm gonna take you back to the beginning. Apparently, and I don't remember this, kind of remember it, but not totally. Okay, whoa! Poor Janet. Okay, so how we got started with chickens. Apparently, one day, I was at my father-in-law's place, and my sister-in-law actually had chickens at the time. And they were talking about chickens. And they were like, are you ever going to get chickens? I'm like, heck no, I'm never getting chickens. Like, it's not my thing. Like, I don't want to mess with it. I don't know anything about it. I'm not going to be bothered with it. Whatever. Said all these things about how I would never have chickens. Do I remember that? No. Barely. Fast forward. This was when we still lived in the city. When we moved out here, it wasn't long after we moved out here. I don't even remember when it was. I don't remember if it was cold yet or not. I think it was almost cold. Anyway, my husband's cousin, Cole, called us and was like, hey, I'm getting rid of my chicken coop. Like, I'm not messing with this anymore. I have 1 chicken left. Do you want it? And I'm like, okay, yeah, like, let's do this. And I was really stoked, like so stoked. Can't even get words out. So we went into town to his place. It was dark. It was like nighttime. Picked up this coop, put it on the trailer, got the chicken out, which is now Rosie. I think her name was Hennifer. Hennifer Lopez? Yeah, I think it was. Anyway, we changed it to Rosie. So Rosie, and when I opened that coop and I saw her, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the prettiest chicken I've ever seen in my whole entire life. She is a gold lace Wyandotte. And I was like, I want all the gold lace Wyandotte. I don't want any other breed except for the gold lace Wyandotte. I just thought she was the prettiest thing I'd ever laid eyes on. These motorcycles. So, we bring her home, and I feel like she needs friends. She can't be living by herself. Like, she needs roommates. So I got a hold of Hoffman's Poultry, and I still buy from Hoffman's Poultry. They're in Bowie, Texas. And he had some Gold Lace Wyandottes for sale. And so I went to go pick them up, and I actually picked up 1 Gold Lace Wyandotte and 2 Buckeyes for Rosie to have some roommates. Anyway, they lived together through the winter, and then my mom decided that she wanted chickens, so my dad ended up building her a coop, and I gave her my Gold Lace Wyandotte, not Rosie, but the other one, and 1 of my Buckeyes to get started. So I gave her those 2 chickens, and then it just snowballed from there. It was like I was on Hoffman's website all the time looking at all the chicken breeds. I wanted all different kinds of breeds. I didn't want the same ones anymore. It was now a goal to have all these different chicken breeds to kind of round out my flock. And they really talk about chicken math, right? So you want 1, and then you have 5, and then all of a sudden you've got 20, and now I have 22. So it just is what it is. So I just want to go over with you maybe a little bit about how I do things and how I raise my chickens. If I can get this all in before the sun goes down, we'll be doing good. This is our chicken coop. This is the one that Brad's cousin Cole gifted us. Praise God, because we have not had the motivation to build a different coop, so we just use this one. So this is the coop. I have actually painted it 3 times. When I first got it, I painted it pink, and then I painted it white, and then I painted it like this mustardy yellow color. I've actually added on to this coop. I think I did a coop tour in previous videos, but I added on this nest box. I actually enclosed the entire underside. It's no longer a tractor coop. It is a permanent structure in our backyard. Then I proceeded to add on these chicken runs on both sides. They're identical on both sides, that have extra roost, nest box, hangers for the water and the feed. So they both have feed and water on both sides. And then, as you know, I've added my chicken tunnels all around the garden. Okay, so I give 2 different types of feed to my chickens. Actually 3. I give them scratch, I give them all natural mini pellets, and I give them the feathering mini pellets. I don't know if there's a huge difference, but sometimes I get it on Chewy.com, and most of the time I get it at Tractor Supply. It just depends on where I want to get it. So, let's see, I have 2 bags here. Let me show you. So I get this all natural 5-grain premium scratch. This one's from Chewy. But if I'm in a bind, I'll go to Tractor Supply and I will get the scratch grains. It's not an all natural, but it'll do in a pinch. Truthfully, I think they like both equally. Then I also have the mini pellets, which I don't have a bag to show you, but I do the mini pellets. I don't do the full-size pellets just because I feel like their little mouths are so small. Like, they need small mini pellets to be able to, you know, digest and eat it. I also give them oyster shells. The reason I give them oyster shells, I got a 50-pound bag from Tractor Supply. The reason I give them oyster shells is to harden up their eggs. So if you're having an issue with soft-shelled eggs, you're making it really difficult to make a video. If you're having an issue with soft-shelled eggs, I recommend oyster shells. Number 2, if you don't get the oyster shells, or you can sub oyster shells for their own shells. So what I mean by that is I keep this on my kitchen counter, okay, with a little potato masher. And when I cook with the eggs, like as we use our eggs, I will put the eggshells in here and I will let them dry and then I will smash them. So you can see I've got a bunch of smashed eggshells and I will just put this either on the ground in their run or I will put it in with their feed. I have 2 different feed buckets, one on each side, so I usually split the shells per feed bucket. But that also adds calcium to their diet to help with the soft-shelled eggs. Now, the eggshells can also be used as a fertilizer in the garden, which is great. But I feel like my chickens will benefit more if I give them to them versus my plants. So normally, I give my crushed eggshells back to my chickens. Their favorite treat is going to be the mealworms. I just get a big bag either from Tractor Supply or from Chewy. It's been working great. Also, I use the lime. So I use First Saturday lime in my chicken run and also in my chicken coop and in their dust bath. I do that because it controls the mites and the bugs and other pests. Pause for motorcycles. So it's a great natural deodorizer, I guess you could call it. So I put it all in my chicken coop and in the run and in their dust bath. You can also put it in their water. I put lime everywhere. Number 2, the ASEA. I also use this ASEA, which is kind of controversial because a lot of people say it's just salt water and it doesn't do anything. But I've heard a lot of testimonies where it does do something. So I just use it for the chickens. I don't use it for me. I'll just put like a cap full or however much in their water bucket to help with, say, bumblefoot or any other thing that maybe I can't see. What else? I just use the pine shavings from Tractor Supply. I know this is upside down. This is all I use for the inside of their coop. I think it works well. It is kind of dusty, but I don't mind it. I think it cleans up nicely. I can just kind of take a shovel and I can scoop out the chicken poop that's piled up and then just replace it with more pine shavings. In the winter, and now that I have 22 chickens, I will probably continue to have multiple water buckets going. I have 2 open buckets, actually 3 open buckets. I have one that hangs that they drink from the side, and I also have one that hangs that they drink from the bottom. These motorcycles, I give up. It's making it all dusty too. Alright, so that's just my 2 cents on chicken keeping, is for one, providing a adequate shelter for them, somewhere where they know that they're safe at night. Mine are safe during the day. I usually don't let them out unless we are home. Another thing I would say is to collect your eggs often. For a couple reasons. Number 1, you want to know how many eggs you're getting. Number 2, the more often you collect your eggs, the cleaner they will be. Number 3, the more often you collect your eggs, the more eyes you can lay on your eggs. So if there's, like, say, a snake in there and you don't got no eggs for a couple days, you're going to know that there's a snake. There's a problem, and you need to address that problem. We have had to deal with rat snakes. We've only had 2 since we've had chickens. And no other snakes have been interfering with them. So, dang old motorcycles. Got it all dusty. Can't even talk to my camera here. So, I'm not going to go through all of my breeds because I have too many to go through. I did create a scare hawk to deter the hawks and bigger birds whenever I do let them out. But usually we do a supervised free range, which means I don't let my chickens out unless someone is home and that we are watching them and that we have eyes on what's going on, because otherwise you're opening that door for predators to come and get your chickens. And I'm not about that life. We had one hawk and that has been it. So I keep a close eye on my chickens. I'm pretty protective. I'm kind of a helicopter mom. But for the most part, there's 22 of them. They're doing well. We haven't had to deal with any other major issues, so I'm thankful for that. Oh, and then in the summer, I have fans also. But I did a coop tour on that. You've seen my fans. I'm curious to see how it's going to go for the winter when it gets super cold with all these chickens. But I'm thinking that there's 22 of them, so they could just huddle together inside and love each other and keep each other warm. So that's my plan. Anyway, really appreciate you guys watching my crazy videos. Sorry about all the motorcycle noise. And of course, as I'm wrapping it up, they stop riding. So if you have any other chicken tips or tricks, be sure to leave them in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, hang out with us more often. I'd love to hear from you. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time.